I'm going to be presenting my first project for CMP 168. It has seven classes, and I just want to read the class attributes first. So course class has 4 attributes. Person class has 2, employee class has 3, faculty class has 3 also, general staff has 1, student class has 5. For the course class, we have the attributes of graduate class, course number, course department, and number of credits. Person class has name and birth year. Employee class has department name, number of employees, and integer employee ID. Faculty class has the type of course, number of courses, and the faculty. General staff has string duty. And the most attributes are for the student class, which are number of students, student ID, the type of course, number of courses, and if they're a graduate, like which type of graduate, and their major. So some of the class relationships are that employee and student are inherited from the person class. General staff and faculty are inherited from the employee class. And now I'm gonna get started with my main code. So basically, my main code it's the main one, so it has 6 array lists and 13 functions, which is including the main function. So the very first function I have is extract object type, which is used to get the object type from the data read out of the file, and this is the code for it. I really got into detail with my comments, which breaks down everything. I'm using the video class to just briefly summarize everything I've done. So as you can see, for the extract object type, it's used to get the type out of the data. So it gets the object type out of the data and it reads it from the file. And after this, it returns the class name. So if this is after like the semicolon, so if there's no value there, the input length is gonna equal 0 and there's gonna be a blank. So that's how I avoided like errors from the typer. Our second class is course object, and the function of this is to delete object name. So this basically, what this does is it follows the second one, and it's used to delete the class name from the string, and it prepares it for like the next step, which is like taking the remaining string and using like that as a parameter. I highlighted the wrong thing. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm just going to fix that later. Okay. The third function, which like relates to the second function, it splits the parameter we came up with in the second function, and it splits the parameter and it creates the object finally. And it takes the input string, the input string, and divides it into words. what it does to divide, I put like a comma, so that's how it divides the characters. So those are basically the main functions. The fourth function is parameter number. So employee object, faculty object, yeah, so basically what the third parameter does is it counts, no, not the third parameter, I meant the fourth parameter, which is get parameter number. This function is used to count the number. This function counts the parameters in the string and returns the number as an integer. So the 5th, 6th, 7th, and I think 8th functions, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10th functions, they create the object according to like the class name, and they return it from the extract object type function, and they will use the suitable constructor to create the object based on its parameters. So it basically uses the parameters we set before, which are all of these. And then to like use the data that was provided for the project, so it opens the file, which was I think schooldb.txt, and it reads it line by line, and it works accordingly, and it creates like the object functions from that file. And yeah, that's that. That's essentially what the main function, the main class is doing. So if we get into the course classes, so the course class basically it's used to like figure out like the course number, the course credits, the course department, and the course name, and that's for the course class. For the employee class, I'm not sure how long this video is supposed to be, so I'm just summarizing everything. For the employee class, it's basically the department name they're in, the number of employees in that department, and the employee ID, which is found here. For faculty class, this is the code. For general staff, this is the code. And yeah, this is an extension of employee. And this is all of this code basically ties up mainly to the main class, which is like the brain of the project. There isn't much to explain for these. I think they're pretty self-explanatory, but basically like, yeah, person's name, guess the person's name, birth year, and everything. And the student class, I think, which is like the second longest after the main class. Yeah, so I'll explain a bit about this. For this one, we have it figures out if they're a graduate, if what their major is, and their birth year, And then I use this instead of because this helps. I know we were talking about this in class, so that helped instead of like changing the name for it. I also did U and G. I'm not sure if in like the example if it was undergraduate or graduate, but I put U and G for that. Yeah, it adds courses taken, credit numbers, and yeah. I don't know what's gonna happen if I run it, but yeah, that's basically the project, number one project for CMP 168. Thank you.